guys, welcome back to the channel. Some exciting news: the new Wicked Whip by The Fold for Ninjago Season 11 has been released about 7 or 6 hours ago. So in this video, I want to share my full thoughts on it, as well as provide a rough estimate on where I think it would place in my rankings alongside the other whips. But yeah, anyways, the Wicked Whip, I think, along with the Temporal Whip, are the two whips that really try to use a lot of different styles, and they are definitely the most original and the most unique out of all of the whips. So starting with this whip, the intro part of this whip is awesome, and I especially love the intro part. The beginning of this whip is actually used for the intro of Season 11 as well, and I just really love the whole exploration kind of vibe this intro part has, and it fits the theme for the first few episodes of the season really, really well, so well done on that. The verses are also not bad either. I like the instrumental, but the style they tried out with the verses is repeating the words, and a lot of the words from the original whip are not in this version of the whip, so they cut out a lot of the words, and it's completely different actually, not in a bad way at all, but you know, the part where they say, "we say go go," that part is entirely different in terms of music and composition, so I think it was great that they tried rearranging, or I should say, using words to, setting words to a different tune, that's the phrase. So I thought that was great that they've been trying with this whip to kind of reinvent it in a way, and I thought that was very cool. My favorite part definitely is the chorus, the classic chorus of the Wicked Whip, which pretty much has the jump up, kick back, whip around and spin. I don't know what, but something in the Season 11 intro felt really, really off about that line. It felt like a child was singing it, but thankfully this is not the case in the actual Wicked Whip. The intro sounds amazing, and I really love that they recorded it again. It's a shame that in the Season 11 intro, it just doesn't sound like this. I'm not lying when I say it really does sound like a little kid is singing it, and I don't really know why, but in the actual version of the Wicked Whip, this is definitely not the case. They replaced the classic Ninjago shouts with Hey Ho Ninjago, which I think is a nice addition. It fits well in the Wicked Whip, but I will say that I definitely do miss the classic Ninjago shouts a little bit. They definitely were one of the iconic points of the Weekend Whip. But, of course, this whip is kind of reinventing the Weekend Whip, and I think it was great that we got to see new tunes and new styles tried out. Now, as for the bridge part, the part when it's just instrumental, and if you watch the video, you can mainly actually hear the dialogue of the ninja, I thought this part was good again, but something was noticeably familiar about it. It sounded a lot like Game of Thrones, and you can't, again, hear it too well if you listen to the Wicked Whip video, but it was also posted beforehand too. We had also gotten this snippet of the song on, I think, the Folds podcast it was, and it sounded a lot like Game of Thrones. I'm not saying it was bad, but it definitely wasn't the most creative. There was some stuff in the background that did distinguish it a bit, but it definitely did sound a lot like Game of Thrones. But all in all, I'm really glad that the Fold has returned to Ninjago. I'm definitely wondering if they'll be here to stay and if they'll be making more of these Ninjago songs. Like in the past, they've been making other Ninjago songs too, other than just the whip. And I think this new whip is amazing. It definitely reinvents the whip. It tries out a lot of new styles and methods and techniques that have not yet been used, and I think it's great. Of course, it also drops some of the more traditional techniques that the old whips had, but this whip definitely does stand out from the other whips. I will say, though, that it is not my favorite. Some of the stuff, like the Ninjago shouts, I think should have been kept because they really were iconic to the original whip, but I don't think Hey Ho Ninjago is a bad replacement either, and it definitely does fit the season well. This is another thing. This intro, this whip, really does fit the season's theme of exploration and questing, and I think that's great because this whip does definitely fit the season. And all the whips have definitely fit the season, but this one especially really does feel like it goes with the season very, very well. And I think that's awesome that we're getting a whip that, although it is definitely different from any past whip, it still goes along with the season very, very well. And you can tell that it was made to specifically fit the season. And another thing, for the Fold's big return back to Ninjago, I thought it was great that they decided to do an entirely new recording of the song. It just sounded fresh and it sounded very, very different. So I think that was great. They tried out some different tunes as well. So I thought it was an awesome idea, and it really paid off to re-record, or I should say record the song again. So I think the Fold has put a lot of work into this, and it's definitely showing off. They tried out a lot of new techniques that are really, really cool, and I think they've done a stellar job with this Wicked Whip. Although I'll say it isn't my favorite out of the bunch. Again, some things I feel were missing, but I think it's definitely better than the rebooted whip. The rebooted whip I don't think was even remixed by them. Although none of the whips are bad, I think this Wicked Whip would go right above the rebooted whip, and I would probably say the rebooted whip is my least favorite, but I still think that both of these whips are good. It's just a matter of which one is better than the other, and so on. But yeah, the Wicked Whip is really, really good. I would probably have to give it, if I was to score it, I would probably have to give it a 9 out of 10. So thanks for watching this video, guys. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, share with anyone ever you know, and let me know what your thoughts on the all-new Season 11 Wicked Whip are. Once again, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.